Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here with each and every one of you, alongside my colleagues Dana Hunter and Gary Knapp. We love joining with you on Saturdays, and we know many people watch these recordings down the track, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We link arms to make Manatech Australasia the best it can possibly be in gifting people. And today is no different. Today we're going to build on our business and sharing skills in regards to our new Luminovation program. Now, we're very lucky to have Ocea here today. Now, Ocea Ebel, she describes her first entry to network marketing as, "Let me join, please, auntie, let me join." Ocea nagged her auntie, or auntie in Australian, for three
Yeah.
whole months before she finally caved in, and then she started her first network marketing business. She got busy sharing skincare and makeup tips. Ocea successfully recruited other women to join the business, and in only a few short months, she achieved the rank of director and was on her way to qualify for a company car. The only problem with that was she was only 14 at the time. Thanks to network marketing, Ocea has traveled the world on incentive trips, been awarded a variety of business accolades, and enjoyed driving company cars. But by far, her most absolute favorite part of her career is the privilege of being part of a process that enables and supports women to achieve their goals. She has helped women to realize their dreams, achieve financial freedom for themselves and their families, all while staying 100% true to themselves and remaining completely in alignment with their values. I mean, who wouldn't love that? Ocea
Mm.
loves books, businesses, brunch, and pizza. She believes pineapple does not belong on pizza, and
Nope.
salad dressing is always served on the side. So,
Yep.
in this time, as I mentioned at the start, we're going to be talking about business skills and invitation skills in presenting Luminovation just to our friends, but also in inviting to our upcoming live events. So, Ocea, thank you so much for just immediately saying yes. I'm very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, let's just give a little snapshot of that history of how
Yeah.
everything Ocea network marketing, how it came to be here.
Okay. I didn't hear half of that, but I'm sure that I understand what you asked me. So I did start when I was 14. I was so impressed because my auntie had earned a brand new company car. That's a long time ago. My digits are reversed plus one, plus 11. So a little bit older now. But I really wanted to have a company car because I thought by the time I was 16, I wouldn't have to buy a car. And back then she got a Honda Prelude, which was a really big deal. So I was impressed. So with her support and help, I started sharing skincare and makeup. And when my auntie couldn't help take me to the shows, I used to catch the bus or get other people to help me. So I had to make it happen, and it did, and it was very, very exciting. And the beautiful thing I loved about that was all the lessons that I learned. I still marvel, and I think at 14 I was encouraging women 35, well, that was really old when I was 14, to join the business. And it was a really beautiful process. I really appreciate that learning. I probably took it for granted then, but I do appreciate it now. And the beautiful thing was that I could still finish school, and then I had young children, and I left the business and I came back. So that's the wonderful thing about network marketing. It's a solid business model in my mind, and I've had a bricks and mortar business. And when people would always come at me and say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, it's this, it's that, I used to think the only pyramid scheme is really my salon, because I'm at the pinnacle, I'm at the top, no one can pass me over, and no one's really going to earn more than me. So network marketing is a beautiful model. And I was introduced to Manatech while I still had my bricks and mortar business a long time ago, and it was through the skincare through youth and Michael Pottit. So I did a lot of research. So I Googled for Manatech scams. I did so much research on the negative side, because for me, aligning myself with brands and companies that have the same values is my number one priority. So even though I did read some things, when I dug deeper, I found it wasn't the company, it was more the people not working for the company. So I really love Manatech products, and I'm really proud to align myself with the products. But first and foremost for me, for network marketing, it's company values, and Manatech, I believe, is supportive, has a great sense of social responsibility through M5M, and in my experience is extremely ethical. Second of all, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to earn money. And I like to say in network marketing, we work for ourselves, but not by ourselves. So that is definitely different to the usual business model where you spend a lot of money, you open up and you pay business mentors a lot to support you, whereas in this you have your uplines, and it's also really low risk. I mean, an entry level of, is it $69.95? I always forget, and a couple of products you're going to use yourself is pretty low risk. And thirdly, with Manatech, the product, it's a great product and it taps into a large consumable market. So they're the three things that really appeal to me about Manatech, and with Luminovation that expands it even more.
And how did you navigate the transition between the youth system and Luminovation, and what's your endorsement in regards to that to people listening today?
I haven't really had to navigate much. The clients who are using youth, I've told them some things aren't going to be available, so they haven't really transitioned yet. So for me, it's just about letting people do those things by themselves and just making them aware that there'll be another choice, and that choice, yeah, it's a little bit different, but the technology is going to support their skin differently. And so what was the second part of your question there?
Well, how did you have any transition in moving from youth to Luminovation as well? Like, what were your thoughts and
for me personally, no, it was really simple, because I'm like, what's the next best thing? Yep, this looks great. This is really pretty. So, and for me, the packaging with Luminovation just meant that youth was just pushed off the counter. So it's very feminine, it's very pretty. I don't really get attached to products, so it's a really easy change for me. And my priority is healthy aging, and looking at the products, I really believed that this product can change more with my skin maybe than the youth can. Like, in my opinion, the youth was a really tight market, whereas Luminovation is for so many more different people. Like, I would feel really confident for a teenager to start with the program using 3 products, as I would to recommend it to a perimenopausal woman who could use the whole entire range, and everyone in between. I don't feel like youth had that capacity to go across all skin types, where even though it may have been developed for that, the results, I believe, from Luminovation will be much more noticeable for all skin types. So a very easy transition for me. And again, I'm not attached to products. It's, yeah, this will do this for me at this point in time, so this is what I'll use.
That's an awesome endorsement from somebody with your background. You know, this is
you.
your profession. So
yeah.
And what are you noticing with your own skin, Ocea?
I've significantly noticed pores being refined, lots more compliments. Your skin looks really great. What else? The skin's really smoother, and I really enjoy using the product. So that makes it simple. And for others, I think it's a program that's affordable for many people, which is really good. And the people that I talk to, yes, it's not going to be for everybody, but for most people who skincare is a priority, it's a affordable program. It can be used on, and what I'm loving is that I'm not going to have to be looking for different products as I get older or my skin needs different things. It's going to work with my skin as that happens. And I feel that's really great for longevity from a sales perspective, in the sense that you can have a really loyal consumer who's not just buying the product because they like it and it feels good, but they're actually going to see results for their whole skincare journey. And it's an easy recommend because you see the results straight away. So after a few months of using it, I've really noticed a difference in firmness, but I felt moisturizing and hydration results straight away. So it offers both of that, which is really good for clients as well, and us for associates too.
I have about 1 million planets in Taurus, so I'm not a quick changer.
Yeah.
I hung on to youth a little bit, but I'm really impressed. I'm probably only 5 or 6 weeks in, but I noticed all those early changes as well, and my skin feels great. So I'm looking forward to. Yeah, there's some notes in the comments for those that are here live that, you know, a few people, like, we had such an amazing product in youth, but this does extend it. I agree with you. And that, and as a novice, I'm not a skincare professional like yourself.
Yeah.
But as a user, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
the focus today is to help
Yeah.
us as a business community who
Yeah.
are partnered with Manitech, many of us for decades, and welcome to some of the new names I see here today. So I want to help people feel strong and have strength in skill sets in how to
Yeah.
invite people to take a look at Luminovation. Now, whether that's just a friend, you say, hey, this stuff is great, or inviting, and then also we want to cover inviting to our upcoming launch events, or not really launch, relaunch, continuing to launch celebration events with Luminovation. So
Yes.
what's your advice on introducing people?
So I've written a few notes on that because I think that could be a really broad subject, but we've got limited time, and I wanted to really hand over from information that I feel that when you know nothing or you know a lot, it will work both ways. So first of all, I think your invite's going to vary depending on where you are in your sales journey, in your Manitech journey as well. So if you've been here for a while, the invitation might be a little bit different than if you're a brand new person and you've got the immediate connection of your friends, family, and community who want to support you to do something. So on either end, though, excitement's going to be the biggest thing. If you're actually really excited about something, that generally attracts people, and your language will be more positive, and people will, I guess, perk up their ears and be a little bit more interested. So what's in it for them, I think, is always a priority over what's in it for you when you're doing an invitation, and considering how can you best serve that person when you're inviting them. What's the real reason you are inviting them? Ultimately, yes, we want to make sales, we want to recruit associates. However, there's got to be a reason before that. We have to think of, well, why am I really inviting this person? Can I actually see a benefit of this product to this person? And you only know that by asking questions. So the language that you use needs to be language for you, not my language. I have written a couple of examples that I'll share. However, you need to manage that, and it has to be reflective of you. And it's no different than referring your favorite movie or a restaurant that you went to, or you might have gone into a store or bought something online and you were really surprised at how good it was when it arrived. And I know I do with my family and friends. I'm always like, oh my God, I bought this the other day. It was amazing. And I'm constantly giving them links to things to try out. But it's really just coming from a place of, I want to share things that I love with you. And I feel like, sorry, I got hair on my face here. Chin hair. I feel like it's just starting a conversation, and it's about remaining curious and caring. And if you're, I mean, I've got to lay it on the line here. If you're not caring and you're not curious, you're not going to make it in a network marketing arena. You need to be caring and you need to be curious, and you need to use language that you're comfortable with. In the beginning, you create your own scripts. I know we have access to scripts, but write your own and say them to yourself in the mirror. And you might feel foolish the first couple of times, but keep practicing. If there's a difference between thinking, oh, this is not something I would ever say in a normal conversation, than feeling a little bit silly because it's not something you're used to saying. So discern that difference and create some scripts. So, for example, when I've shared it with my friends, I have said things like, I ordered this new skincare. You know, I'm always a bit skeptical at first with skincare. My friends know me, so they know that's something that's going to come out of my mouth. But I love it. I tell them, my God, I love this. I can't believe it. The packaging is amazing. And I share with them, it's the first time in a long while I've stuck to a routine, which probably for me is a bit of a lie, but someone else that might be like, I know a couple of associates, they've never stuck to a routine, but it's easy. It's 4 products. So my language might be, for a skincare slacker, I love it. 4 products, same ones in the evening, same ones at night. I notice a difference. I think it's the moisturizer. I use the tiniest amount. It spreads everywhere. I love it. Feel how soft my cheeks are. So I'm not really selling them anything. I'm just sharing like I would if I bought a product off the counter in David Jones. That's all I'm doing with the people that I know. And then I'll continue the conversation. My friends would be like, I don't want to touch your cheek. And I'll grab their hand and I make them touch my cheek. And then the conversation continues. Yeah, your skin feels beautiful and soft. Yeah, I think it's this. I read that it had this ingredient, this peptide in it. I think that's what it is. Are you using anything with peptides? Then we start a whole skincare conversation. And by the end of it, it's pretty much, can you order me some of that? It sounds really good. It's just sharing. It's just a conversation. You don't need to have any technical data about that conversation, because you're just sharing how a product makes you feel. The other thing I think that maybe, you know, you could try something else of, I thought of another thing you could say, I'm trying this new skincare. The name is a mouthful, because I know sometimes I get so tongue-tied with the name. I never get it right. But the moisturizer has diamonds and pearls in it. I've never used a product like that before. Have you? And you just start the conversation. That's really all we're doing. So it's being caring and curious, because I want my friends to use the best product. I want my family to use what I believe are the best products. So I just want to share it with that. And I just saw, yeah, K Beauty, use whatever you want as a name, as long as it aligns with the company marketing material. So it's just about planting seeds and conversations. Instead of getting worked up of how am I going to sell this product, it's how am I going to share this product that I'm loving? And maybe you haven't fallen in love with it yet, but you know someone has. But you're not trying to fix someone. You're not trying to correct their skin disorder. You just want to share something that works for you, and you would love your friends to have that experience. And then through these conversations, you're planting the seed. So when a Luminovation event comes up, like we've got going around the country, that's when you ring your girlfriend and you say, hey babe, do you remember, or a friend, whoever, do you remember when I asked you about that moisturizer? Well, they're doing a big presentation about it. Come along with me. I really need someone to come with me. Come along with me. So it's just really sharing. I think we really need to move from that mentality of I've got to sell, I've got to sell, I've got to sell. And we just need to share. And we can't rely on just sharing with 3 people and then thinking it doesn't work. We need to share with lots of people. We need to practice sharing with lots of people. And it needs to come naturally to you. It comes naturally to me because, well, you're aware, it's ingrained, it's been ingrained in me from when I was very young. But if I go somewhere, I'm always complimenting people. I always find something nice to say about somebody. And those type of conversations then lead into other conversations. I was at the butcher the other day and I said to her, have you changed your hair color? She's like, yeah, I've gone dark. I'm like, your eyes pop. It makes your eyes pop, and I can see a difference in your skin. So every time I go there now, we talk about those type of things. So it's a gentle entry, which doesn't come randomly. Then if I say to her, I was thinking about you the other day, and it would be great if you could come along with me to this skincare product, because I know she's interested in beauty, because we've had the conversation. She responded well to me complimenting that her hair color made her eyes pop. So I'm getting a lead in. It doesn't happen straight away. I think that's another thing we have to remember. No business, no working for yourself, you open the doors and you have a flood of customers unless you've moved your business from one thing to another. If you're starting from scratch, which basically is what I'm doing now, because I can't rely on what I did when I was 14. I have to start again like everybody else. So I have to develop those skills. I have to practice. And if the butcher thinks I'm an idiot for asking that question, who cares? I'm still going to go buy my meat, but I've had some practice, and maybe I think, oh, next time I should have said it like this, and I move along. It's just about practicing. So I think that was a little bit wordy, but yeah, hopefully practicing in the mirror, rehearsing. You can't wing it. You can't, if you want to be great at something, you can't wing it. I used to spend hours, and I still do now. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, reread the questions that you sent me, Sharon. I wrote down answers, and then I rehearsed them. I said them out loud. I practice everything. So I practice in the mirror. And these days it's wonderful. Back when I was younger, it was just practicing in the mirror. I used to do full demonstrations in the mirror. I felt so silly in the beginning, but it's the only way you can be great at something. It's the only way you can master it, is if you practice. And the wonderful thing in this day and age is you can practice live online and already get instant feedback, and sometimes instant results in the form of sales and questions and building the relationships. Practicing in the mirror, you don't get that much, but you have to practice. So again, effort and rehearse. And who do you want to talk to? That's the other thing. I think it's really important when you mentioned in your email to me what type of concerns and things can you cover. Well, who do you want to talk to? That's what you've got to decide when you're sharing the product. Who do you relate to? Not who can I sell this to? Who do I relate to? And you have to remember, generally when you sell a product, you're happy because you're selling product, you're making money, and then your customers, because you're interacting with them, see you making money, and they'll think, oh, I wonder what she's doing, and then that's how you lead into your recruiting. So if you don't like who you're selling the product to, inevitably you're not going to like who joins the business with you. So you want to make sure who do you want to talk to, who do you want to relate to, because then it's going to be so much easier. The other thing I think as well is we need to stop educating. Like, unless you're holding a training session, you don't need to be educating. You just need to be sharing. You need to know your information for when the questions are asked. That's when the education comes in. But you don't go in with an education mindset. You're sharing. You're sharing a product. You're sharing a product, and when they ask, they've perked an interest, they've asked questions, you've got that relationship, they're going to trust you for the education. Otherwise, these days we have to remember as well, we've got so much information. Anything you say to someone can be Googled. So you may want to sell yourself as an expert or an educator, and that's perfectly fine if that's the way that you want to model your business. But if you're just sharing naturally because you love something, the education again just comes naturally because they trust you to ask the questions, and that's where your education comes in. And I guess too, an example would be, what would be an example of that? Like when you're doing your lives, you might drop in a little bit of information you know about the product so you have some credibility, but you're really just sharing how good it makes you feel. So, okay, I thought of one. When you are doing your lives and your social medias or your Zoom calls like this, I mean, we all heard the statistics through COVID at how many, mostly women, went to get plastic surgery or had appointments with plastic surgeons because they didn't like the way that they looked, and they were looking at themselves a whole lot more. So integrating it into a conversation of how many people do Zoom calls now is, I started using this skincare and I'm so happy because I'm so much more confident when I see myself on the screen in my lives or my Zoom calls. We can integrate it into everything if you remain curious and you care.
So it's building those skills of inviting people to take a look, probing to find interest, and being excited and passionate about the product.
Yeah. And why would you want to go? You want to go now because you are a Manatech associate. But if this product meant absolutely nothing to you, what would it take for this event and product to have meaning to you? So for me, you would be selling it because you've asked me lots of questions. So you know my background is in beauty, my background is in business. So for me, it would be, Ocea, this company has this wonderful product. I know you love skincare. I know you love innovative skincare. I also know that you love business, and I know you have a network marketing background. I would really think it's beneficial for you, even if you don't want to join, to come and hear what the latest things are, because you'll also know by talking to me, I'm a little bit FOMO. I don't like missing out on things. So I'll want to be there. So you need to give, the invitation has to have meaning to the person you're inviting. So you're not going to do a blanket invitation to everyone unless they're all the same type of person. So it'll be a different invitation. So for example, a couple of my girlfriends, it's a girls' night. I'm like, babe, we're going to have a girls' night. We're going to have a champagne. You're going to get a gift bag. I want you to see this product I've been harping on about. Come along. Oh, yeah, sure. That'll be great. My hairdresser, I've told you about this product before. I really think it's an extension of income for your business. I'd love you to come to find out about it, because I'd hate for one of your clients to tell you about it and you don't know what they're talking about. It's a completely different invitation. So know who you're talking to. Again, you can't know who you're talking to unless you care about them and you ask questions and you be curious. So I guess that's my biggest takeaway. Be curious and care. Ask, because you can meet that need. You've got to meet people where they're at, not where you think they should be at, and not where you're at. And we're all I'm at the bottom of the food chain here. So I'm in a really different position than maybe that someone who has a presidential director title who's developed business differently. So they're going to have a system in place where they can send people. Your upline will have that. So you work with that and you see what your team does. And if there's nothing there, create one that works for you. I mean, most people, when they start working for themselves, they don't get given anything. When I opened my salon, I had a beautiful salon space that we renovated ourselves, and I had one client. In 6 months, I had 500. No one gave me a system. I wasn't a franchise. I wasn't going to pay $250,000 for a franchise. I had to just do trial and error. I had to work every day. And that's part of network marketing as well. I think a lot of us think about it a lot, but don't execute. And then we're like, we haven't got any results. But it's like, that's because all you've been doing is thinking. Like, doing a social media post and scrolling is not actually business. Like, the business is, what is my system? How do I get people into my system? Who am I talking to? And who am I asking? Actually asking. And it's okay to get a no when you ask. So if you ask someone to an event, it's not going to be for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. It may not be convenient for them. So have backup things in your mind. So say, for example, someone says, oh, I really want to know about this product, but I can't make that event, Ocea. That's a shame. It'd be fun. I'll take some sneaky video for you. Actually, even better, on Saturdays, my team does a training. So I need a model. Can you come along? So have a backup. Maybe your team doesn't have a training on Saturday. My team doesn't have a training on Saturday. It was just an example. Just find a backup. It could be, oh, that's a shame. I was looking forward to hanging out with you and getting to know you a little bit better. How about we do it over, I'll treat you to a champagne on Friday, this Friday or next Friday. Find a backup, build the relationship. The thing is, if you're doing that every day, you're not desperate for an instant sale. You actually don't care if they say no then and there, because you've been doing it all week and maybe only one person every day, but that's 6 other people that you're following up. So it doesn't need to be 100 people at once. It just needs to be consistently every day. I really feel, and I need to take my own advice here, if we just spoke to one person every day consistently and went, oh, I'm disappointed that they said no to me, I really see the value for them, but they don't see it yet, and we move on, then you know what? Our businesses will just automatically grow. And then that one person just compounds and compounds and compounds. And that's the brilliance of network marketing, isn't it? That it compounds. Yeah. It's like putting the $10 a week away when you're, 21, and having $1 million by the time you're 60. So that's what it is. It's how you engage people. It's the language we use. And we all know that we have to work on ourselves. We've heard that so many times, but it really is. And it's getting uncomfortable. And for some of us, I know for myself, it's taken me so long to feel confident to go on social media. I've been so scared of all the judgment. I'm a rabbit hole comment girl. I'm like, oh, these people are so unkind. They're terrible. And I had to really work on myself before I feel confident to put my face somewhere. And because like most people, doesn't matter how many good comments we get, that one, we're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Whereas now I'm just like, a few expletives and move along. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to do it. So you have to really become who you need to be to do the job. Like, I'm not naturally interested in sharing my life on social media. It's not who I am. And if you look at my social media, I don't really share that much of myself. So I'm like, well, how do I do this? But you know what I love sharing? I love sharing about how I can help people, how I can support people. So that's the line that I take. So, and yeah, and sometimes people, excuse the word, have shitty comments, but it's just a delete and block, move along. So I've had to do business differently because when I was younger, it was completely show plan. But I don't have the time or resources to do 6 shows a week like I did then. So now it's like, well, how do I do business now? How does the world need me to do business now? Because I have a dream, and if I'm going to achieve that dream, I need those two to meet in the middle. That's awesome. Such a long-winded answer. Sorry, guys.
No, but you covered about 3 or 4 of my questions in there. But I've thought of Yeah, no, that's perfect. But there's another one that I didn't think of is
Yeah.
that if you're a non-skincare or beauty professional,
Yep.
how do you approach, like if you wanted to say to your hairdresser, how do you point out the points of difference to a beauty professional?
Okay, so the market is saturated, no different than to supplements. How do you point out the difference with the supplements? I'm not, yeah, I have a degree in nutrition, but before that, I didn't have a degree in nutrition. So what's the point of difference for supplements? And I can't act as a nutritionist if I share the Manatech supplements anyway, because unless they are a client on my books, I can't give that type of advice. So it's general advice. So it's exactly the same. So what do? You just say to them pretty much what I said before. This is an opportunity to extend your income in your salon without having to have the massive overheads. You don't have to go to a skincare company and have a $10,000 open order. You don't need to worry about exchanges, returns. You may have two products on your shelf, one as a sample and one if someone desperately wants it, but you sell it for exactly what it is. And a hairdresser is also not a skincare professional. We're only making recommendations. We don't need to be professionals. We don't need to be experts because we're only making recommendations. We're only sharing. We're sharing our experiences. And even though I truly believe that we're all unique, humans have generally the same experiences. Humans generally want the same things. So all we're doing is we're sharing from our perspective, our experience, our experience, and what we want of ourselves. And there will be other people that relate to that. So that's who we're sharing to. So yeah, you don't need to have any type of expertise, but if your hairdresser said, well, what's the difference between this product and another product, you just say, I love it. There's probably technically not a massive amount of difference. You could buy any product that could do this, but it's going to be a whole lot more expensive. You're going to have to buy a big batch to put on your shelf, and you're definitely not getting money back guarantees. If you're selling to salons, offering their clients money back guarantees is a big deal because it's a lot of work to get your money back from a skincare company. And as a professional having skincare on my shelves before, it's not very often the company gives the money back. You give it back to the client because you want to keep the client, but the companies generally don't. So there's not very many out-of-pocket expenses. So you've got to remember, I guess, that if you're talking to someone who runs their own business, you're talking about how this product fits into business. And the product has all its credentials as well. The product has the support marketing material from the company. And I guess, yeah, the biggest point of difference is going to be the excitement from you, because reps go into businesses all the time. And generally, this is another thing I know I'm telling all of you stuff that you know, we buy from people who we like. So if someone likes you and trusts you, they're going to choose you over the other representative that came in. The benefits of not having to spend a large amount of money is maybe what gets them over the line.
Okay, so from a technical perspective, we're matching the high-end ranges and coming into a more cost-effective price point. So
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
assuming that people are looking for things in skincare. So peptides is one of them. Is there anything else that people are looking for that that we're coming? Because I think it's so affordable. It lasts so long, doesn't it?
It does last a long time. It is an affordable product. Again, that depends who you talk to. So if you're talking to someone, although in the saying supermarket products, I noticed the other day that, gee whiz, even some of the supermarket products in the supermarket are a lot more expensive than I remember them to be. So
yeah,
you're also selling a social responsibility, the M5M. So not all companies do that. That really is important, I think, to tell people. And many people want that from the products they use. I mean, I pay a lot more for my toilet paper because it builds toilets overseas. So many people are looking for companies that are socially responsible. So that's definitely a point of difference. Manatech doesn't have the whole greenwashing that a whole lot of companies actually have. So Manatech really says what they have and they stand by what they have. They don't pretend anything. So the company's credibility is a really important thing when you are wanting to deal with the business people as well. They want to know that the company that they're working with isn't going to go broke or isn't fraudulent. So Manatech is really above board. So that's a really important thing as well. And just picking out something about the product that you love and then Googling it and seeing what other products have it. So you've got to do your own homework. This is the thing with this business and this opportunity. You've got to do your own homework because it's got to come from what you understand and what you know. So in that training, I go through a lot about the ingredients. In that skincare handbook, I go through a lot about the ingredients. You can Google all those ingredients. Goodness gracious, you could put it in Chat GPT and ask it to create a script for you. So my number one tip for all of you today is get a custom Chat GPT, put your likes, your dislikes, your experience in it, and then ask the question, and it will write it as for who you are, not a general thing. It will write it for who you are. Put something in there, write your own script that you're really happy with, put it in there, ask it to analyze it. When it gives you the analysis of what your tone and language is like, put that in your custom settings. And then every time you ask it to do something, it's going to relate to that. So it will sound like you. I mean, don't use it verbatim, but use that as ideas of, oh, okay, so using my custom settings, I want to sell this product. I want to sell a moisturizer to a hairdresser because I want her to stock it in her salon. What are my 3 ways I could ask her to do this? And when that comes out, go, yep, that gives me an idea. I'm going to try asking her like that. So use resources as well, but it has to be your voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave you some examples of things to say, which I didn't put in Chat GPT. I just thought of them myself because it's how I talk. But just do those things. Do those things. Yes. And be honest and authentic, in your interactions. You've got to be honest and authentic. People can tell a mile away. I've said this before. They know when you're only doing it for yourself. People are really savvy these days. So savvy. So you've got to really have a heart of service in network marketing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We do have some questions coming through as we begin to wrap up my question list. So how do you deliver that, how to use this program message? So say we're starting with the 4 steps.
I think...
Would you teach them or would you point them to resources?
No, goodness gracious. So here's another thing with technology. Just do a live and save it and share it with everybody. Do a camera video, get your phone on a stand, do a camera video, do it on yourself, save it, and when someone buys the product, send it to them. But make sure at the end of that video, you give them another call to action. So maybe start a video. Hi, it's Ocea. I'm so happy that you've purchased your Manatech Luminovation skincare range. I'm going to take you through this. It's 3 minutes. Stick with me. Do it with me, or just keep it by the side so you know what to do. Then you doing the video, you cleanse, you tone. You might share a little experience about the product, something you love about the product, maybe the benefit of one ingredient, and you do the 4 steps. At the end of that, you go, that's it, guys. You can do this in 10 minutes or 2 minutes. I love it for that reason. But what I want you to do is I'm going to also send you with this message. There's a link. I want you to see the video that I've made. It's only another 2 minutes when you can on the mild pure and the glycobiome ampule and the hydrolyzed collagen, because I think you're going to love that. Use this for a couple of weeks and then I'm going to call you about that. So put a call to action at the video. If you only have to do that, you only have to do that video once, right? So it's 10 minutes of your time. Doesn't need to be scripted. Just do yourself and talk and have a laugh. And then every person that buys the product from you, you email them that video. You've also told them that you're going to follow them up in a month. You might say to them, if you love, at the end of the video, depending on what you want to get out, what your direction is, what your dream is, you might say at the end of this video, I'm going to call you next week because if I know you're going to love this product, you're going to want to refer it to your friends, and I want to show you how you can get some product for yourself for free. So you create a little video, 3 minutes. It'll be 10 minutes of your life. You can use it over and over again. And then when you look back at it and you feel cringe and just think, oh, I've learned so much more now, I can do better. You make another one, and then that gets sent out to your associates. Keep it really simple. you got to think of profitability. Is it really profitable for you if you're selling 10 sets a month? Because we got to talk big business here, right? If you're only selling one a month, that may be all you want. But if you want to earn money, if you're selling 10 cents a month, do you really have time to drive to 10 people's homes? I don't think so. It's a busy world. If you want to recruit someone, if you said to me, yeah, I sell 10 sets a month, so I make this much money. This is our system. We go to someone's house and we show them. Your choice if that's what you want to do. But if you said that to me, I'd be like, I can't fit in 10. That would be 20, 25.
Visits, yeah.
I can't fit in 25 more hours into my month. But if you said to me, Osha, sell the product, do your presentation, sell the product, send everyone a video, it's then just 10 phone calls, I'd be like, easy, or 10 emails, however you choose to communicate. I'd be like, easy, 10 phone calls, 30 minutes, 3 minutes each. I don't have to talk forever to people because I've already built the relationship. So keep it simple. You don't need to go into detail. People don't really care. They just want to know the product feels good on them, and they want to know who they're buying it from, they like, and who they're buying it from. If they ask a question, they can answer it.
Perfect. And there's another question about the ceramides and other points of difference that set our product apart.
If you go through my skincare handbook, they're all kind of listed. So that would be the best thing to do. And do your research. So if you want to know things like ceramides and peptides, and I would say the jewel complex, Google it and point of difference, and see and like take ownership of the information that you want to share, because then you remember it. You see, I remember it because I research it. So even if I'm on a call and someone says something and it catches my thoughts, I write it down and I research it, because then that's how I remember it. Because then I have to explain it to myself and understand it my way, and it becomes my language, it becomes my words, and then it's really easy to share, and that's how it becomes authentic. So you take the information that I share with you and you make it yours by adding to it, taking from it, learning a little bit more, and then it becomes authentic to you. And then that way people believe you.
And so there's lots in the chat for anybody wanting to cheat with other people's experiences so that they're feeling like they're pampering themselves, which right now is important. If it feels luscious, they love the smell. So there's lots of different things that you can build your own truth and use those.
Exactly. Yeah. And what do you love about the product? Look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I love about this product? Because that's all you really need to share. Because even if you use the most basic language and you say to someone, it feels great, mate, and that is how you really feel, they're going to be, oh my God, she thinks it feels great. I love her. I'm going to buy it. It doesn't have to be fancy words.
Yeah. It's about owning it.
Yeah.
My internet went there. It's about owning it and really sharing your passion and your heart with people. It's beautiful, beautiful advice, Osha.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful. So what would you like to leave people with today?
Okay, so I did think about that because I always want to leave so much. I always feel that if you have given me your time and you don't leave feeling a little bit more of who you are, then I've failed. That's my heart of service. But I really believe that take consistent action, like I mentioned, every single day. Get out of your comfort zone, try something new, and build to it. If you're not ready for the ask yet, just build it to sharing compliments. Have you heard of this new skincare K Beauty Luminovation that everyone's talking about? Just ask. If you're not really ready to ask for the invite or the sale yet, just keep asking, be curious and care. So take consistent action. Change is okay. Even for, did you say you're a Taurus or something? Change is okay. And we live in a world where change is happening so rapidly. I'm not saying keep up with it all, but keep up with what's relevant to you. Be open, be uncomfortable. Know that within yourself, you're here at this time because you can cope with what's happening. That's what I really believe. So change is okay. Be brave. Ask for what you want. So at some point in time, we have to ask for what we want, even if we think it's going to be a no. The no is not for you. And the no is just where that person is at. And we all can say that so easily, but we have to learn to not take those no's to heart and do something you haven't done before. So a little challenge to everybody. If you haven't done a live before, then take the plunge and do it. Remember, a really important thing is it's 90% process and 10% reward. So enjoy the process and the lessons that come, and revel and relish the reward. And probably the last thing I want to leave you with is have someone to believe in you until you can believe in yourself. So find that someone, and if you can't find anyone, I will be your biggest cheerleader, and I'll tell you, I believe in you. As I said before, if you're here, I think we're all perfectly positioned. If you're here, then you've taken your time out of a Saturday. There's many other things you could be doing. So you have a dream, you want to do something, just allow yourself to be the person to fulfill that dream. So thank you.
Ocea, God bless you. There's a lot of gratitude in the chat. I'll send it to you,
Thank you.
later. And yeah, you've blessed everybody today. There's we're very grateful, and thank you very much. So
thank you.
As discussed, next week we've got M5M Foundation, which is the foundation in part of Ocea's coaching test today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week with Sarah. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I'll see you weekend. At the event. See you Adelaide at Luminovation.
Yeah, see you guys. Bye. Thanks for being here.